Welcome back to the Scotch Podcast. We are on episode 28, and today we are joined by
Amanda Johnson, Mrs. J, and Miss Monro, or Jodi.
And Hamish.
And Hamish.
Hi.
The Year 11s have started a coffee unit learning how to make coffees. Part of this has included an excursion to a coffee shop where you go to taste and make coffee. What are some key skills when you make
Coffee?
Coffee.
I'm sorry.
No, it's perfectly fine. One of the key things that the students actually learned about was the importance of time management and organisation, because you have your coffee or you take your give your order to the barista. How long would you sit there and wait? 3-4 minutes. After that, you're out, you're getting agitated. So time management and organisations was really important. And the professionals at HT Coffee School at Mile End also pointed out the importance of dialing up the machine, getting the perfect extraction, as well as texturing. And I thought you'd like that. Texturing and stretching the milk. If you're interested, the How to Be a Barista is part of the Stage 1 Food and Hospitality School class in semester 1.
Did you come back more awake than when you left?
Oh, absolutely. But it wasn't just from the coffee. Those kids that we actually took, or young adults, were inspiring. The passion and the focus and dedication they showed, because some of them have actually taken those skills back to their part-time jobs. Sam Hawley, this is a shout out to you, and over the weekend actually made his first coffee in a hospitality establishment and is ready to take orders when he works next time. So shout out, well done, Sam.
Year 12s are tasked with designing a signature dessert. What would your dessert be?
One that I would love, but Miss Monro is not a coffee lover, so cut her out. It's a tiramisu. So I would use my traditional family sponge recipe to make my take on a sponge finger, a really, really thin, tissue paper thin chocolate wafer type style element. Then I'd match it in with a mascarpone and vanilla bean mousse and finish it with Haig's chocolate coated coffee beans that you would crush up. So all in all, wanting to support South Australian food manufacturers in my version of tiramisu.
Yum.
And I've decided a neat-on mess because, a bit like me really, just use a bit of whatever's around and just make something, sensational. And the combination of whatever's there seems to just make it work.
So in Year 9, students can choose textiles as one of their electives for the very first time.
Aww.
So what are some of the projects that they, get started on?
Well, we start off with a big awareness, I think, of fast fashion and the impact that has on the environment and to us every day. But we also look into what it's like for a worker who would be creating these garments for us from way away across the other side of the world. And we link that with garments that they have at home. And it does tend to put you off a little bit about certain brands because the ratings that they get and the way that they treat their people is not always so flash. So it's a bit confronting, but it's a good awareness campaign, stuff we need to know. And then we go into textile design. So we look at how fabric comes together, how it's printed, repeat patterns, all that sort of thing. We create our own little motif, and then we print our own fabric, and then we make some shorts out of that with pockets. Very important to have pockets.
Need if you're fine.
Textiles at Scotch is offered through Year 9 all the way through Year 12.
Yes.
And because I do it, it's very fun. You should definitely do
Absolutely.
it if you haven't tried it. But I guess looking more out of school, what possible careers could that, set you up for?
There are lots and lots of different careers that you can go into. Currently, we've got a couple of students at the London College of Fashion studying anything from fashion media to garment design and styling and retail and that sort of thing. And we've got some students over at RMIT at the moment doing fabulous things. But into fashion design, as an actual career, you could be a garment manufacturer or just having a small business at home making garments for people. But it goes through all of retail and any styling and that sort of thing you need to do. You can go through to costume design as well if you're into that sort of stuff, and anywhere you like, really.
what is the best part of teaching food and hospitality and textiles? Like, what's the best part?
Well, clearly having you in my class.
Thank you. I know I'm your favourite.
It's a bit of a superstar. Actually, don't let that get out.
Okay, yep, I won't.
I like it. I love it, actually, when I see students' faces when they create something that they really didn't think they were going to be able to do. And you've shown me that face many times. But just getting involved and having a go, I think creative subjects are really important in that. We get that a lot, don't we?
The light bulb moment. That moment when they actually see all of the hard work, their planning, their learning of new skills, the application of that, seeing whatever they've produced, whether it be a dessert on a plate or a garment that they put on or somebody's modelling for them, and to then get an accolade or a positive comment from one of their peers, that warms their heart.
When you get a, wow, that's really cool, where'd you get it? Oh, I made it myself, is huge, huge. You get a lot of kudos and a lot of cred for that.
Yeah.
What would you say is the ultimate meal? So like entree, main, dessert, and what drink would you pair with this?
Well, I had to think about this, and I pretty much put it down to some of my faves. Entrees for me always seems to be around the calamari. My partner, we go fishing a lot, so calamari, nothing better than when it's freshly caught and crumbed and all that sort of thing, and a nice lemon aioli to go with it. And lasagna is a big favourite of mine. If you get a really good lasagna, real sort of meaty, lots of veggies, that sort of stuff, it's fabulous. And of course, garlic bread, of course. And then a lemon cheesecake to finish off. Nice light one. I've got a really nice, light, fluffy, airy, it's more like a mousse, delicious, and it's a really good way to finish off. Drinks-wise, it's interesting, though, because I don't drink alcohol, so it's probably going to match it with Coke, no sugar, or something ridiculous like that, or water, or even a juice. Probably, we'll say a freshly squeezed.
What about sparkling mineral water?
Sparkling mineral water would be great. That sounds really fancy. Is it with a slice of lemon?
On the side.
Yeah.
Perfect. And mine would be currently where I'm sitting, arancini balls with a nice buffalo mozzarella in the middle, a bit of sun-dried tomato and perhaps a little bit of sage, followed by my American ribs, which served, slow cooked, then served on the Weber, matched with some polenta bread, some wedges and perhaps some charred corn. And dessert is definitely my tiramisu. What would I match it with? A Shaw and Smith Riesling, perhaps. I think would go down nicely after a bubbles to start with.
If you could have an exhibit in the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute, what would it be?
Oh, well, absolutely. That's easy. I would probably have an exhibition of student garments that for one reason or another have actually had a story to tell. And a lot of what we do is about that. There's a lot of art subjects, a lot of creative subjects showing what it is about that student, something they're going through, or just some sort of reason. So there'd be things like Ethan Yachty's IKEA dress, Taya Griff from a few years ago, her 3D printed dress that glows in the dark, Lucy Sperling and her quilted dress. You made that in the process of a family member passing, and all the fabrics hers. And that was really special. I think we cried nearly every lesson. And garments like that, they're just some very special memories in those garments, and it would really be great to have an exhibition where you could actually talk about all those different stories.
And mine would be aprons from the staff, because we have a little staff group called Scotch Bakers, where over the years we've taught... I've worked with them to teach them how to make traditional hot cross buns and Christmas cakes and puddings. So and that is a great opportunity where we're learning, but we're also sharing our food stories. So to actually take the aprons of those staff and have it representative of their story and a little caption, I think it's really empowering for both themselves, but also other people to be inspired through their food stories.
The big question, the question that has been debated over millennia from the human society: does pineapple belong on pizza?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep.
Really?
Yes.
You always need a touch of sweetness to enhance and balance out flavour across a dish. So in this case, it's a hint of pineapple. So I'm not talking chunks, I'm not talking rings, I'm talking about if you're a traditional pizza lover, it's a can of Golden Circle, crushed pineapple, drained, and then lightly sort of dusted, sprinkled on the top, like you perhaps would apply parsley if you're going to. So it's just a hint. It's just there to enhance the flavour. I challenge you, when you next make a pizza, have a portion with a hint of pineapple and a portion without. Do a blind taste test and see from somebody else or even yourself which one you prefer.
And if you're making up your own pizza sauce, you can add a splash of pineapple juice to that, mix it in, and then it comes straight through the whole pizza. Oh,
sorry, Hamish.
I couldn't imagine anything worse. Oh my God!
Isn't it great that our world is made up of people that like and dislike different foods to make it interesting?
Yeah.
Forget about star signs. Just does pineapple belong on pizza?
I actually learned something very interesting the other day. That pineapple on pizza, like, obviously it's called Hawaiian pizza, but I heard it came from Canada. And I was just in shock.
Don't know.
Most pizzas, if you're a Year 8 student, you'll be exploring this at the moment, but the origins of pizza are quite interesting, and I can't let that away because otherwise they'll...
You've got to take notes.
But the usual, it's American or it's Italy, not the right answer.
No.
If sewing machines could talk, what juicy secrets would they share?
Well, they're a bit sneaky, sewing machines, at times. And I reckon that they'd know all of the goss, but I reckon they'd probably get together with their little haberdashery mates and keep their zippered their mouths shut. And I think they'd be the kind of, if they were people, blackmail you later on with that information. They'd just keep it in a little vault when they're ready. They're that sneaky.
They probably would know a lot.
Couldn't just when you think about that jam.
Yeah, what about a Toy Story? What about a sewing room story? Can you imagine? And particularly with all the repurposing of fabrics that you receive and patterns and things through donations, some of the stories that could be shared through those things, and perhaps some of the conflict between the new creations and the old, and the newly purchased or the newly printed fabric and the old. Interesting.
Oh, wow, we're onto something now. We're just leaving to make our fortune now.
Well, the amount of gossip though that is shared in that sewing room.
Well, it's not always gossip. Mostly it's advice of some sort of another. I think we cover a little bit of some of the PE curriculum in the health section, but it's also advice. We've got the Year 12s last year named it "What Would Miss Monro Do?" and that became a bit of a thing, looking for what do I do in this situation. Oh, my boyfriend's been horrible to me. What do I do? Get rid of him. If you're not going to treat you like a princess, then get out. That kind of thing. So hard and fast and brutal. That's how it works.
If you could sew together any food items to create a new superfood, what would they be and why?
Well, I sort of looked at that as not necessarily a superfood, but a super attribute or a super worldwide thing. And I would have denim and use that for strength and resilience, because it is, and merino wool for its softness and for its comfort. And I think those two together build quite a nice little person, really. Make all our people out of denim and wool now.
And mine is 3 scones, raspberry jam and double cream. So people that know me, I absolutely adore high tea. I rate an establishment on its high tea. And the staple of a good high tea is the scones, the cream, the jam, how it's presented. So put all those together. That would be my superfood. But then take that again, the history behind scones and all of those elements, as well as the amount of power that scone could have in sharing love and friendship and support. Because if we think about where that's traditionally served, that's what it comes back to. And we all have a lot of memories around scones, often through a significant female in our lives. I don't want to be gender specific, but in this case it is. And I think that's quite powerful.
My great-grandmother, fun fact by the way, used to make scones every Sunday. And then one day, aged about 95, she burnt them. And so she went out the back, dug a hole with a shovel, buried them, never made them again. We're not speaking of those, she said.
Yesterday was Mother's Day, and my mum and we went on a hunt to find scones. We didn't get scones at the end of the day.
You're perfectly capable of making them. What are you doing?
We were in the mood for a road trip.
Yeah. but you were bonding
Yeah.
with another significant person within your life and your relationship over scones. It's a superfood.
So, if food were fabric, what dish would be denim and which one would be silk?
Mine is steak. Steak, it's...
Denim.
Sorry?
For
Denim.
denim?
Yeah,
Yeah,
denim
denim
is
steak.
steak. Sturdy. If you mistreat it, it usually can be saved because you could always mince it if you didn't age it for long enough. You can cover it if you burn it. You could potentially cover it with a sauce, perhaps not. You could shred it and turn it into shepherd's pie. But it's there. And my silk is definitely fresh raspberries. The silky texture in the mouth, soft touch, needs to be treated with care, has a very short life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, denim for me would be potatoes. Sorry.
Okay. Yep.
Well, it's a stock
With all
standard.
purpose, yep.
Yeah. It's always available, tried and tested. It's got real working class history, both of them, like denim, potatoes, and it can be dressed up and down depending on the occasion.
Yeah.
I thought. And silk for me would be either caviar or 95% dark chocolate. So they're not necessarily perfect for every day. You're not going to have caviar on your Weet Bix. But for the right occasion, it's really unique and it's decadent and it's really expensive. So,
Cool.
Why should you choose to continue with visual arts after 8 years?
It's the one subject, I think we will
Well,
agree
yeah,
on this, where students actually have the opportunity to have a solid outlet for their creative abilities. And it doesn't matter whether you're a brilliant cook or can sew or can't sew with a machine. There's areas within our subject to use that different sphere of your brain to actually be creative. And it's an area where that degree of creativity is decided upon by yourself. So true people that are successful academically also have a creative outlet.
surgeons have to learn to sew, don't they?
So are people?
From that yes. Well, I'm a firm believer in having a balance between creative and academic subjects, and I just find that the way both areas help you think, problem solve, be creative about what it is that you're doing, that creative edge just slides in there really nicely, gives you a better ability to come up with new ideas, I think, yeah.
And also with society moving towards acknowledging students and people in general's soft skills, our capability to critically think and analyse, our ability to act with a degree of agency, the ability to make ethical decisions, all are addressed in every in every classroom across the technologies and visual arts platform. And that's exciting because those skills are what employers of the future are looking for in partnership with academics. But not all of the students at Scotch and in society can achieve a high ATAR. So to have a balance between your ATAR and your academics
Definitely.
and your achievement of your capabilities through our creative area, I believe forms a really well-rounded person, which is what society's looking for.
And it's relevance too, so we're always coming back to what's in at the time, what we want to do, and keeps rolling. And our subjects are very good at continuing to roll with what's popular, what's in, and linking that with the past. And so you've got the basic skills and so on, but very creative.
Well, I think that's all the time we have with you. So thank you so much for answering these questions with your awesome responses. I hope this has given our viewers a lot of insight in, the more visual, creative aspects of the school. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.